My wife and father-in-law took over the house I inherited from my mom. My father-in-law bragged, "Living in a $1 million house with my daughter is the dream." I said, "But we're separated." The color drained from both their faces. I'm Marcus, and this whole mess started when my mom passed last spring. She left me her craftsman home on the lake, worth well over $1 million, the house I grew up in, where she taught me to fish off the dock and where we scattered my grandfather's ashes under the oak tree. My wife, Renee, saw dollar signs before the funeral flowers had wilted. "We should move in right away," she said. "Think of the space. The boys could each have their own room." We were drowning in our old mortgage, so, still numb with grief, I agreed. That's when her father, Gerald, appeared like he'd been waiting for the opening. Day 1, he cut himself a key without asking. Day 2, he was hauling my mother's handmade furniture out to the garage. Day 3, he announced he'd be supervising things daily. "This place needs a firm hand," he'd say, as if I hadn't grown up in these rooms. He criticized everything. My grilling was amateur. My yard work was lazy. The way I organized the garage was a disgrace. And Renee, who used to have my back, started piling on. "Dad's right, Marcus, the stakes are overdone. He's got a point about the gutters." Within 3 months, they'd taken the place over completely. Gerald repainted my mother's sunroom, boxed up her pottery, swapped every family photo for pictures of Renee's side. Renee started treating me like a guest in my own childhood home. She hosted her book club and her sister's birthday there without asking, redecorated the den, and told me, "It's our house now. Stop treating it like a shrine." The final straw came on a Tuesday, when I found Gerald in my mother's workshop with a tape measure. "We're turning this wasted room into my home office," he said flatly. "I need somewhere for my model trains." That workshop was my mom's sanctuary, where she built furniture, where she sat me down for the hardest and best conversations of my life. Something in me went very quiet. That night, I called a lawyer. "The house was your inheritance, and Renee's name isn't on the deed," she confirmed. "It's entirely your separate property. She has no legal claim, and neither does her father." I spent the next week quietly documenting everything. Gerald's daily takeovers, the unauthorized renovations, the boxed-up heirlooms, the disrespect for my mother's memory. Thursday morning, Gerald was in the kitchen, loudly complaining that I'd bought the wrong coffee. Renee was scrolling her phone at the table like the lady of the manor. I walked in with a folder and a calm smile. "Morning, I'm filing for separation today." Renee laughed. "Good luck affording this place on a teacher's salary." Gerald smirked. "You're not thinking straight, son." I set the folder down. "Actually, you both have 30 days to move out." Their faces went white. I explained, evenly, property law and inheritance rights. "But we've put so much into this house," Renee protested. "We bought the appliances, the patio set. Send me the receipts," I said. "My lawyer will review them." Gerald tried to bluster about how much he'd improved the place. I slid over the photos of my mother's furniture rusting in the garage. Moving day was something else. My sons and I sat on the dock with sandwiches, watching the U-Haul fill up. "Where's Mom going?" my younger one asked. "She's getting an apartment across town. Grandpa Gerald's moving in with his brother." Renee ended up in a cramped unit by the highway. Gerald, whose brother didn't want the model trains in the living room, put them in storage. The best part came later. My lawyer discovered Gerald had been telling people he co-owned a lakefront property and had even listed the house on a loan application as an asset he had rights to. That little fraud attempt made the separation proceedings very interesting and very fast. Meanwhile, my sons and I restored my mother's workshop exactly as it was. Her tools are back on the pegboard. We have pizza nights in the sunroom, now repainted its original soft yellow. Her pottery is back on the shelves, and her photo hangs by the door where it always did. Last weekend, my older son asked if Grandma would have minded us being loud in her workshop. I told him she built that room to be full of noise and people she loved. Sometimes the most valuable thing you inherit isn't the house or the money. It's the reminder of who taught you to stand your ground and the second chance to fill their home with the right people again.